Welcome to a new video. In this video I will show the software that I made to manage the two-hole soldering machine and to create the G-code. As you can see, this is the interface of the software, and first of all we can import the drill file, which comes from the PCB design, and the drill file has the position of all the holes in the PCB. Here we have the representation of these holes. Then the first thing to do is to understand if the orientation of the board is aligned with what will be placed in the 3D printer. So in this case, for example, is should be rotated by 90 degrees. So there is a button to rotate it. There are also buttons to flip it vertical and horizontally. Here you can see there is a circle in red, which indicates the starting point of the soldering process. And this point has to be set manually. So we have to find the coordinates of this point. After the coordinates of this point are given, then the program will calculate all the other coordinates of the other holes and execute a G-code snippet for each of these positions. So in this way, it created a G-code file that can be imported in the 3D printer. Due to the large number of holes to be soldered in this board, I will divide the Gcode file into sections so that I can have more reference points for the 3D printer. And you will see in this example I will create two sections. Next step is to select the holes that should be soldered. And it can be done in several ways. For example, in this case, I'm just removing the diameters that are not needed. So as you can see, once they are removed, they become white. And then I will add exclusion zones in the way that these holes will be excluded. So I'm leaving only the holes that are required for the first section. And this is what will be the first section. You can see the holes are all in black. So the next step now is to get the coordinates of the red circle. To make this operation, it is necessary to move the tip of the iron exactly on that point. And now I'm pointing exactly at the reference hole. So to do this, I use a software that is called Repeater. And with this software, it's possible to give commands to the 3D printer. So here I'm showing, for example, this command now will home the 3D printer. So all the axes will be starting from 0. And then I can move all the axes until the tip of the iron reach the required position. For example, now I'm putting 10 millimeters on the Z axis. Then here I'm moving the X axis and then the Y axis and so on. So now I will make a series of fine refinement to precisely align the tip of the iron. Okay, now the process is completed. I have these two numbers for the X and Y axis. And I will put these numbers on the start file, the Gcode start file. Here I have this old Gcode start file, and then this is the new one. Okay, the Gcode is a text file which has the Gcode commands on it. And here you can see, for example, this one starts the fan. That, as I said in the previous video, the fan indeed is not connected to the fan but to the heater or the iron. So This other command wait for 180 seconds, so it waited that the iron indeed reach the right temperature. So 180 seconds should be enough for that. And then finally we have the command that move the axis to the position. So you can see our G0x55 and G0y122, and this should be changed with the value that we have found in the repeater software. So let's change it. Yeah, this one. Okay, so now let's save the file, and we will use this file in the software. So let's load the start file. Okay, so this start file will switch on the iron, will wait 180 seconds, and will put the tip of the iron in the position for the first welding in the red circle. So the other file to load now is the snippet file, and this is the Gcode that will be used by this software every time in position over one of the holes. Okay, let's take the latest one. Okay, so as this is the first section, I will not add the end file. The end file normally switch off the iron and position the tip of the iron far away and move the plate forward, so it's easy to extract the board. It's also possible to save this configuration. So here I'm saving this particular configuration now. Next step is to calculate the path and save the Gcode file. So there are two specific buttons on the lower part of this graphical interface to do that. So here you can see in blue the path that the 3D printer will follow. And now let's save the Gcode in the output folder. And it's done. The first part of the Gcode is done for the first section. Now let's do the second section of the Gcode. One thing I want to say, it's not necessary to make two sections. It's just for my convenience. So I repeat the process, I load the snippet, I select the holes that should be welded, and this is the section 2. As you can see, now the reference is changed, and we had to repeat the process of finding the position of this circle on the 3D printer using the repeater software. Once we have found it, we go to the start file, we create another start file, and then we input the coordinates on it, as we have done previously. Here I speed up the process, and here we are with the new coordinates for the second starting point. Now let's load the start file, And this time we also load the end file that will switch off the iron and move the bed of the 3D printer. Let's calculate the path and then output the Gcode file. To attach the two parts of the Gcode file, I just need to append the part 2 to the part 1. This can be done easily with the text editor, so nothing special about it. Once the Gcode file is finished, it can be saved on the SD card and we can put inside the 3D printer and print like if it is a normal file. Next video, I will make a test of this file and see how the machine works. I hope you find this video interesting and thank you for watching.